Hello and welcome to the Announcers Table podcast, where we discuss the latest topics in wrestling. This week, I'm joined once again by Scott Weaver. Scott, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you, Dom. How are you?
Certainly can't complain.
Good.
This week, we're discussing Andrade, who has recently publicly requested his release. It initially was rejected, but was then eventually granted on the night of Fastlane. He is now, of course, looking ahead to his future, but before we get to that, what are your memories of Andrade in WWE?
So, it's more so NXT, I'd say, that you remember Andrade for his time being employed by the WWE because that's where he was probably used properly.
Yeah.
Obviously had a very, very, very good match with Johnny Gargano
Mhm.
that everyone remembers. I personally liked his little feud with Aleister Black.
Yeah.
The Zelina Vega feud, as I like to call it.
Mm.
There
Zelina
were
Vega Invitational.
That can be their next tournament. But on the main roster, there are a few highlights, I guess. I mean, he's had a good match with AJ Styles, and obviously the United States title win. But other than that, it's mostly NXT that I remember him for.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I love the match with Johnny Gargano. It's probably my favorite NXT title match, or at least it's up there.
Yeah.
But I remember him for those matches with Rey Mysterio that he had on SmackDown and then on
Oh
Raw.
yeah, yeah, of
They were
course.
just top tier. They'd pull out new stuff every week, and it was unbelievable. And Ray would always tweet about like how it was like being back in the ring with Eddie. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how have they let this guy go?
It's amazing that when you watch those matches and you remember like the time period that you'd have thought that Vince would really have thought, okay, we've got something with this guy.
Yeah, yeah. They're always looking for that next lighting star, and it should have been this guy. I don't know how it wasn't.
It should have been Kalisto.
Oh, it should have been Humberto. It should have been Garza. It should have been all of them.
It should have been Grand Metalik.
There we go. It should have
But
been
no,
Lindsay Dorado.
they're in a house
Someone
party.
pushed the cat to the top.
He's a good little cat.
He is one of the best cats.
He is.
But before Andrade can look at where he goes next, he has to look at who he is next. Obviously, he has two choices. He could be Andrade. He's got the rights to the Andrade name, or he could go back to being La Sombra.
Yeah, he's kind of got a little bit of soul searching to do.
We've all been there.
Yeah, too many times.
But what would you do if you were in his position?
So, I think if I was him, I think the whole thing around Lucha and the mask is the anonymity. So people don't know who Pentagon Junior is outside of being Pentagon Junior. They don't know his real name. There's no pictures of him with his mask off. He's got that aura around him, and that's what makes him special. Same with Ray Phoenix. I think that's a lot of like the aura of the Lucha. So he's lost his mask. We know who he is. Everybody. It's not like it was a secret. It's not like nobody knows who El Generico is. Obviously, that's
No one has a clue.
No one has a clue. But everyone knows who Andrade is. Everyone knows that he was La Sombra. So if I was him, I'd stick with being Andrade. He's marketable. He's a very good-looking man. He can be on posters.
He can.
Just go full barrel with Andrade. I think personally, that's what I'd do.
I think there's so much of a buzz around the Andrade name now and Andrade himself that I think that's the smartest decision to do.
Yeah.
Just to play devil's advocate, obviously Ray put on his mask again and he was successful, but obviously that's a very different story.
Yeah.
Ray there wasn't hype around Ray coming out of WCW, I guess.
No, it wasn't like he was known to be one of the guys that was going to be a main eventer. I think that wherever Andrade goes, he's going to be in and around the main event.
At least he should be.
He definitely should be. It depends on where he goes, obviously, because different companies have different levels of talent. But
yeah,
I think he's so marketable. And with Ray had the whole superhero thing where they could market the mask, they could sell the mask. Kids looked at him as a superhero because of the bright colours and all this sort of stuff. I'm not sure what La Sombra's mask was like personally, but I think keep the mask off and maybe bring it back for special occasions. I don't know.
Yeah, he had like a black and white mask that was like. So I think it
Okay.
was like the Los Ingobernables colors. It
Yeah.
was kind of like a yin and yang kind of thing, which is cool.
Okay.
But I'd keep him with the mask off just because there's so much hype around him, and he doesn't look half bad without it on anyway.
He's got a lovely beard,
Exactly.
and if anyone
Um,
can grow that beard, then they shouldn't wear a mask.
Absolutely. Well, unless it's a face mask to keep yourself safe.
Obviously, yes. Socially
That's
distance masks outside of your house, please. But in wrestling, if you can grow a beard, don't wear a mask. A lucha mask, not a mask. I'm digging myself a hole. You know
I
what
was
I
going to
mean.
say, I saw an opportunity.
You
Just
know what I mean.
don't
I-
encourage people with beards to not wear face masks.
I'm not anti-mask. Let's get this isn't a narrative that I want to be put over.
Moving swiftly on.
Swiftly on, please. Yeah.
First one, take a look at his roots. Obviously, he began life in CMLL, where he
Yeah.
started the Los Ingobernables.
Yes.
Would you be interested in seeing a return to CMLL for Andrade / La Sombra?
Now, there's two ways I could look at this because it's either personally or for him. So for him, then yeah, go for it. Go back to your roots. Go back to the place that made you who you are, and give back to them, I guess. But personally, I don't watch CMLL.
Yeah,
I don't know whether you do,
no.
but I've I don't watch it. I wouldn't watch it. I know that sounds bad. If he went back, I wouldn't watch it. I'd probably find a clip on YouTube or Twitter of it.
Mm.
But I want to see him wrestle. So personally, I'd say steer clear of it. But that's just me being selfish, I guess.
Yeah, so the reason I wrote CMLL, it rings of like when Pac first got free, he went back to Dragon Gate and he was on top for a bit
Yeah,
and then dropped the title, put someone over. And I thought that
yeah,
was quite nice.
yeah. He
Um,
could do the same.
yeah, like, and that'd be huge for CMLL.
Yeah, definitely. It's a mass.
Uh,
He's gone. He's left them, built a massive name for himself, and now he could go back and give back, I guess.
yeah, and that would be really nice.
Yeah,
But yeah, as you say, he is a global star, and I think obviously you can be a global star in Mexico, but I think if you want to be a global like sensation, you wrestle in North America or
yeah,
Japan.
yeah. You go where the big markets are.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's not CML at this time.
No, it's not really Mexico at this time, really.
No, maybe a stint there I think would be nice, but I can't see him staying there full time,
I think
especially with
he'll definitely go back.
yeah.
I think
I
if
think he'll pay a visit.
yeah, he'll definitely go back, but like you say, I don't think it'll be full time.
Mm. Obviously, he's got a life set up somewhat in America
Yeah,
with Charlotte, so I think
yeah.
I can't see him heading back to Mexico full time.
No, no, I don't think so.
The next that I had down was Ring of Honor. So the reason I put Ring of Honor down was because he is good friends with the Ring of Honor world champion, Roosh.
Okay.
So
Ah,
they
I
were
didn't
tag
think of that.
partners in Los Ingobernables. He's obviously top of the card at the minute. We could either see a feud or a partnership again.
Mm.
I just think there's a story to be told there.
Yeah, you see, I didn't even think of that.
Mm.
It's got to the point now with ROH, and it's sad to say, but I don't really think of them.
Yeah,
When somebody gets released, they don't pop up into my head.
yeah,
But with that explanation, I guess it's another thing. I don't see him going there full time,
hmm
but he could drop in.
yeah.
There, like you say, there is the story to be there,
Mm.
story to be told. So he could drop in, tell the story, and then shoot.
Yeah. ROH isn't the dream match factory that it used to be because it's been purged.
Yeah.
Samoa
Oh
Joe,
yeah.
Daniel Bryan, Roderick Strong, AJ Styles are all on the WWE's books now, but
The
they've all
whole
been purged.
the whole US indie scene has been purged
Yeah, it
pretty
has.
much. Well, you back in the day when like when Cody got released, he released that there was a picture he put on Twitter of a list of things he wanted to do, and it was like
Yeah,
PWG, ROH. He wanted to go to Japan. He wanted to go to Mexico. But now it's like somebody gets released, you don't think, "Oh, I wish I could see them in ROH."
Yeah, there isn't. Obviously, because of the times that we're in, it hasn't helped. But
Oh no,
the indie scene's been purged, and it hasn't had a chance to rebuild itself just because of COVID.
everything that's gone on, yeah.
Yeah, so we're seeing more and more being allowed to leave their current promotion and go on to indies, but there isn't an indie star out there that screams, "I need a match with the next release star." You know what I mean?
No, all of the names that you want to see the people that get released take on are in either New Japan or AEW.
Hmm.
For me,
Yeah,
anyway, that's what
yeah,
I think of.
yeah. So just touching on Ring of Honor quickly, obviously there at the minute you've got Roosh, you've
Yeah,
got EC3. Outside of that, I'm really struggling for names.
I mean, yeah, there's like you were saying, it's not the dream match factory anymore, is it?
No,
It's
it's a
not
shame.
like you don't look at him and think, "Oh, I really want to see him take on Dalton Castle,"
Yeah, yeah. I
which
think
is it'd probably be a good match, but
mm, I think if they're
no,
looking to rebuild and they can chuck everything at him to convince him to come, that'd be a fantastic start.
yeah.
But I don't know if he wants to go somewhere to build. I think he wants to go somewhere to call home. And unfortunately, at this time, I don't think it's Ring of Honor. But I think he'll pay Roosh a visit at some point.
Like you were saying, it's he can drop in. He can drop into different promotions. It seems
Mm.
like the door to promotions, I know it's what everyone says, but the door's been opened.
The forbidden door has been
You
cracked
can
wide open.
you can go wherever you want, it seems, outside
Mm.
of WWE.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's always an option. It's always an option to go to ROH to do
yeah.
a few matches. I mean, there are some good talent there, like Jay Lethal, Jonathan Gresham.
Mm.
Like there's
Yes.
talent there, but whether it's somewhere to stay, I don't think so.
Mm. And it's a shame. It is a shame.
Yeah.
But next, New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes. Now,
Now then.
now then. As soon as I heard that he'd been released, my thought was New Japan.
Yeah.
Because he's got the Los Ingobernables de
Yep.
Japón
Mm-hmm.
thing. He's got
Yeah.
that whole story. He's got history there.
Mm.
He could go back as Andrade and mention that he was La Sombra.
Yeah.
I
I
just
think
think it's a perfect fit.
Yeah, there's a fantastic story to be told there as well. Obviously, Naito came back from excursion in Mexico, meeting La Sombra and Roosh and that, and bringing Los Ingobernables into
Yeah,
LIJ as we know it today.
yeah,
We could see a re-partnership. We could see a feud. Him going, "You've lived off my legacy."
yeah. Oh, that'd be good.
There's
Yeah,
so much there to work with. But then outside of that, like he's obviously been in New Japan briefly before, had a great match with Shinsuke Nakamura, but seeing him wrestle the likes of Okada, Ibushi, Naito, not Lethal, Jay White, sorry,
yeah.
not Jay Lethal, Jay White.
Still be a good match with Jay Lethal.
It would, but you planted Jay Lethal in my head. Like there's so many main eventers there, so much quality there. Ishii, Suzuki, like even outside of the main eventers, it's top quality,
Yeah, the
and
Li
he's a
the
top
Li
quality wrestler.
the Lij story is just there to be told, isn't it?
Yeah, whether he
Well, he
joins or whether he rebels.
exactly. There's two ways they could go with it. I personally would like to see him go and rebel
Hmm.
and take it the route that you just said. Take it the route where you're living off what I created.
Yeah,
You've taken this a whole different direction to what I intended it. He could even try. They could do a little double turn where he tries to get Naito out
mm.
and he becomes the leader again.
Ooh.
That I'd like that. I've just made that up in my head, but I like the
Mm.
sound of it.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah, the story for New Japan's definitely there.
and the matches that you could have with just Lij members. So you've got you've got Sonada, you've got Naito, top tier talent.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
There's and outside of Lij as well.
Shingo, Will Ospreay, just to name names that I haven't mentioned,
Zack Saber Jr.
of course. So
Yes,
like because Andrade isn't the strongest talker, I think New Japan suits him to the ground.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
He
Because
might
that's
be because he's naturally charismatic in himself rather than with his words, I guess.
yeah, his body language is more of a storyteller than anything else
Mm,
about him. Because yeah, he's not the best on the mic, but that's why he had Zelina Vega.
yeah, yeah. No, I think New Japan is a very sensible decision for him to make. If he wants to stay in America, he can do New Japan Strong, where we see Kenta quite a
Yeah,
bit, which would be a
yeah.
great match.
Moxley.
Did him and Kenta happen in NXT? I'm not sure. Probably not.
No, was he there when Kenta went to Cruiserweight? He was on 205 Live.
He was probably there whilst his knee was exploded.
Yeah.
Um,
Poor Kenta, man.
well, things are getting better now. He's Bullet
Yeah,
Club now.
yeah. I mean, poor. Okay, we'll say poor Hideo Itami then.
Hideo Itami is dead.
Yeah, bless him.
But yeah, I don't know if I'd see him getting to the top in New Japan just because I think you have to grind so long to get to the top of New Japan. We see Ibushi's only just won the title. He's been there for years. It took Naito forever to get there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I could see him getting to the top, but I mean,
But
I was going to say the IC, but that isn't there anymore.
you look at the guys on the periphery of the top of New Japan. And it's like Okada, Tanahashi, Will Ospreay, Shingo. There's just a long list of like, okay, yeah, they probably they probably deserve it a bit sooner than somebody coming straight from WWE.
And he could be maybe the one to take the belt off Moxley.
That'd be good. That
Mm.
again, that's another way they could take it.
Yeah. But speaking of John Moxley, the final promotion that I have down potentially for Andrade is All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, it's everyone's go-to, isn't it?
Yeah.
As soon as somebody gets released, everyone goes, "Oh, he's going to go to AEW."
Yeah. Again, I'd love to see him in AEW because
Yeah,
I think seeing him against the best wrestlers in the world is a dream.
yeah.
I think there's too much talent there now, though.
It seems like it has big. They need to just focus on who they have,
Yeah.
and that's what Batista said when they did the whole Christian announcement. Is that they need, rather than bringing new people in, they need to focus on the guys that they have.
Yeah.
And they have so many top tier talent there
Mm.
that could Andrade go there and be top tier and main event, world championship, TNT championship level? Absolutely.
Mm.
But there's other guys there that deserve it as well.
The thing is, the first thing that went through my head, and it feels wrong to say, but like, I feel like they signed Ethan Page and he took a slot that Andrade would have filled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like if you had a choice between, well, I feel like they could have had one or the other, but you can't have both because it's just too much.
You can only sign so many people.
Yeah.
You can't just sign everyone.
And they probably already have too many anyway. Like, there's got to be a point where we see releases, and that's going to be a sad start, but it's got to happen eventually.
The releases, though, while it would be sad for AEW and the person being released, would rejuvenate the American indie scene.
Yeah, and that's when it starts moving. And I suppose right now it's not too toxic to the indie scene because it's not exactly open.
No,
But
no, it's not. AEW is not taking guys from a thriving independent scene, is it, at the minute? Because it's not thriving because they can't have
yeah,
shows.
well, that's it. It's like we talk about how MSK are still the PWG
Yeah,
champions, and they're
yeah,
also challenging
exactly.
for the NXT titles. So,
Vacant's going to get his title history.
Vacant will
Going to
be
fly
rolling
up.
in it.
Yeah.
But if you were to sign for AEW, say, just hypothetically, who would you put him with?
So I feel like Death Triangle,
Mm.
all of them.
Yeah.
Just give me all of them. Give me just 3 weeks of him against Phoenix, him against
Oh my
Penta,
god.
him against Phoenix. Just saying it out loud.
Oh, it's so
Uh,
good.
I mean, MJF's probably a shout just because it's a kind of a similar style where they're both the. I don't really know.
Technically, that would be really good.
Yeah,
I could see him wrestling Adam Page. I think that'd be fun.
yeah. Cody.
Cody, yeah. I think
Cody
he's
would
the
be good.
perfect blend for Cody.
Yeah, definitely. Because he's got the WWE style in him now, hasn't he?
Yeah, but he's also got like fantastic technical work. He's got showmanship. He's got everything that Cody
Yeah,
has, really. So
yeah.
I think they'd make a great match, like Cody and MJF did.
I mean, obviously Kenny. Just
Yeah,
obviously, anybody with Kenny would be great.
yeah. It almost feels like a cop out saying Kenny because he's
Yeah,
just too good.
exactly. But hear me out on this. Sammy Guevara,
Ooh, yes.
Andrade and Sammy Guevara would be a
Mm,
very, very good match.
yeah. How would you feel about seeing him with Christian?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I'd watch it. It'd be probably good.
I think
Is
that'd be really good. I don't know why. It just really excites me.
I mean, I think we look at Christian two different ways.
Yeah.
For me, Christian isn't somebody that I instantly think I really want to see him wrestle such and such.
He's the instant classic.
He is the instant classic. And it's not just Christian. We've been saying his name wrong. It's Christian Cage.
Yes.
Brian's brother. Let's not get this wrong.
Yes. Son of Brian.
That tickled me. But Christian isn't somebody that I instantly think, okay, I want to see this guy wrestle. Like, I instantly think of Phoenix. I instantly think of Pac.
Phoenix is incredible.
Yes, exactly. I instantly think of Pac. I instantly think of Pentagon. I instantly think of Kenny. Like, they come to mind instantly. Christian doesn't, which is
Yeah.
bad because he has really good matches and it would be a really good match. But dream match wise, I think there's other younger guys at the minute who I'd rather see him go with.
Paul White.
Exactly. Other younger guys.
The young guys.
Spot Monkey, Paul White.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think he could have a good match with almost anyone, really,
Oh
in
yeah.
there. But overall verdict, I think we're almost unanimous that New Japan would probably be the best destination, even though that might not be the best move for his love life.
No. No, but I don't really because it says that he's living in Florida, so Jacksonville is Florida,
Yeah.
AEW is Florida. It'd probably be the easier move for him.
New Japan Strong is also filmed in Orlando.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Okay. So maybe
So
that could be a good shout.
he could definitely dominate that brand. If you've got Kenta
Yeah.
Moxley and Andrade, that's huge.
Build it around him.
Oh god, yeah. And then
Build it
stick the
around
US
those
title on him.
three. Yeah. Take it off Moxley.
Did we ever see Dean Ambrose and Andrade?
That's a no,
I
I want to
can't
say.
imagine we did.
I will have a quick Google.
It doesn't sound like a match that I've seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
It
you've got
says there's a Sportskeeda list of 5 Dream Dean Ambrose feuds we never got to see, and it says Andrade.
well, there we are then.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Death Rider versus the DDT, the Hammerlock DDT. So
Which is really, we were talking about this, weren't we? It's really, really good, but it's just the setup.
it's a little long.
It's just a bit long. But if you can find a way to speed it up, I'm all for it.
Come on, Andrade, speed it up.
Get some work rate in you, Andrade. Come on.
Yeah.
Not in Mexico now, lad.
Oh dear. But yeah, I think the match that excites me the most is Phoenix and Andrade. As
Yeah.
much as I think he should probably
Yeah.
go to New Japan.
I really like the idea of Pac and Andrade as well.
Mm.
But then I really like the idea of Will Ospreay and Andrade.
Oof.
I really like the idea of ZSJ and Andrade.
You like the idea of ZSJ and literally anyone.
It's like you and Ibushi.
Exactly.
Ibushi Andrade.
There we are.
There we go. So would you see him taking Zelina Vega wherever he goes? Obviously, it's Tia Trinidad, but
That's a big question because
yeah,
her 90 days have been up for a while and she hasn't signed anywhere.
Yeah.
And I thought she'd be straight on to somewhere. I thought it would be AEW because the women's division wasn't thriving at the time.
It is now. It's going now.
But I still think there's room for new talent there.
Oh, definitely. There's always going to be.
So I think if their schedules line up, I think that would be a fantastic move because I think as a package, them two were great.
obviously she has the relationship with Alistair Black,
Hmm.
who is still sat in catering.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah. So it depends where he goes, whether she goes. I think if he goes to AEW, then or the likelihood is that we will.
Yeah.
But
I think.
if he goes to Japan, it's less needed to have a mouthpiece.
Yeah, I think he'd be fine without a mouthpiece. I also think in AEW there are enough managers there for him to get a different one that would work for him. We've seen
Yeah.
Alex Abrahantes as the mouthpiece for
He's so
Penta
good.
recently.
He's so good with
He's
it.
brilliant.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you see on BT, he's part of the Dark Order. So
Oh, is he? I haven't seen
he
that.
is, yeah.
I have to watch that.
But yeah, I think it'd be good, but I don't think he 1,000,000% needs it. But I think it would benefit both as well.
I think it'd benefit if he stayed in an American market. It'd benefit him.
Yeah.
I think.
Let's not forget them two had a mixed tag match with Becky Lynch and John Cena.
Yes, they had a mixed tag match with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae as well.
Well, there we are.
Yeah. So they could go.
Oh yeah.
A mixed tag with Cody and Brandy. Obviously.
Now we're talking.
Obviously, post pregnancy.
No.
Yeah, Brandy, put some work in.
God. Yeah, you're pregnant, but you can go 20 minutes.
Yeah, you're wrestling for 2 now.
Well, there we are. Yes, a 3-on-2 handicap.
Exactly.
But yeah,
who would get the pin if the baby if she lay on top of them? If she lay on top of Zelina and it was like her belly was on her belly, would that count as a baby getting the pin?
I have never thought about it that way.
Because I know that Kevin Owens' kid has a victory over Excalibur in PWG.
Nice.
Yeah, he was like 3, and they just put
Brody,
him on top. They just put him on top of him.
Brody Jr.'s pinned Cody, so he pinned Kenny. Sorry.
Look at these kids ruining the business.
Not even putting in the work.
One of them's not even been born.
Disgusting. You hate to see it.
I've had enough of it. I've had enough. Send Andrade back to WWE.
That's the conclusion we've come to.
Yeah, go back to WWE and stop moaning.
But no, overall, I'm excited to see wherever he goes. I'll try and watch wherever he goes. For me, New Japan, AEW, and I've got a funny feeling about Ring of Honor. I don't know what it is.
I hope not, and that sounds bad. Again, we didn't mention though, if he did go to AEW, there is also the Impact door that's open a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe
there aren't many names that I instantly go, "Oh, I need to see him wrestle him in Impact."
I wouldn't mind seeing him in Rich Swann.
Yeah,
him and Moose maybe.
I mean, anyone and Moose is a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's obviously that door, and then obviously there's the door for New Japan.
Yeah,
slightly. I mean, we've only seen Kenta so far, but I'm sure we're going to see that relationship explode more and more as we go.
Hopefully, I hope so, because it'd be good for everybody involved.
Yeah. But that's all we've got time for this week. Thank you for listening to the Announcers Table. Make sure you hit subscribe and hit the like button, and check out the announcerstable.com for the latest wrestling news.